Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It's another rendition of a very popular design. It's designed to be a decal, so I did a couple of stylistic things here. So most everything is touching. Nothing's off by itself. So like this little dot is touching here, so that way when it's weeded and when it's applied, this dot stays connected and it's easier to get it down. Same thing for these little dots. So everything is touching, and also the lines are pretty thick. So this is set up to be 32 inches by 4 inches long. 4 inches tall by 32 inches wide, and the smallest lines are all an eighth of an inch wide, so 0.125 inches, and then the thick ones are twice as thick as that. So it's pretty consistent on the line thickness to again help with how big and small it can be as a decal. Because this would actually work as a much smaller decal because of how thick those lines are, and it also hold up pretty well as a decal. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop to it. So this is done in Loren Sherman script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants. And vowels are a bit trickier. They're smaller circles, and they're in different positions depending upon what consonant stem they're attached on and what vowel they are. So this is like an E kind of example on all 4 stems and then by itself. So this is an E just on the line of the word circle. So it's straight on that line. So this is like the word circle line, and an E would be on it, same as an I and a U. And continuing on, here we have a B stem, so it's in this row, right? This is a B stem. It's a deep divot, and an E would be right in the middle of that. And then we have a J stem with an E in it, so J stem with an E in it, a T stem with an E in it, because this is a T stem, and a TH stem with an E in it. So this says E, B E, J E, T E, TH E, because you read the consonant and then the vowel if they're stacked. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop to actually reading our design. So this one was strung out left to right. If you imagine an infinitely large circle, if you read it bottom counterclockwise, like the script is set up to be, if it were an infinitely large circle, bottom counterclockwise would simply be left to right. So anyway, and they're also set up with a sentence circle kind of around the outside of everything. So the outside of everything is going to be part of the sentence circle, which is where we put punctuation. And it's also a place for other punctuation to land that doesn't interfere with the sentence circle, but it being broken, like here, between these two words, and connected between these two words, don't really mean anything as far as punctuation-wise. It was just a stylistic choice to help make this A look a little bit separate. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop to this design. So here's our first word. It starts with a shallow divot, which is exactly 50% completed in this example. If it were any more completed and started to wrap back in on itself, it would become a deep divot and a B stem. But anyway, this is just a shallow divot or a T stem, and it has 2 lines ending on it. Yeah, even though this is arced and looks like a circle, it is broken and ends on these lines. So it's just a line because it ends here and it ends here. So that counts as 2 lines on a shallow divot, making it a W. Continuing around here, I have a small circle, that's a vowel, and it's on the line of the word circle, so that is an E. And then we have this double line going from the sentence circle here to the word circle here. So that is an apostrophe. So double line is an apostrophe. And then we have another shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots. So that makes it an R with another E, because it's on the line of the word circle and centralized in the middle of that stem. So this is what an E looks like on a T stem. E's on T stems are tricky because it's hard to tell an E on a T stem apart from an A on a T stem. So if we were to imagine the word circle continuing on the A, the vowel would be outside of it, but for an E, it's on the line or inside of it. So that is what is happening here. So this is an E. So we're with the apostrophe R, and then we have this word, bottom. Here we have our first letter, which is a little vowel, and it is outside the word circle, so it is an A. Continuing around, here we have a double line, and a double line means it's a double letter, and since the lines are the same thickness, it's the same letter twice. So let's count up our modifiers. 1, 2, 3 dots makes that in this column, and it's a circle inside the word circle, so that is a double L. So all, continuing around, here's our next word, bottom of it. Here we have another stacked line, so it's 2 lines in the same stem stacked on top of each other, except these are different thicknesses. We have a thick one and we have a thin one, so that means they're different letters. So we're going to read the thin one first and then the thick one. So we have this thin one, which has 1, 2, 3 lines on it, so that is another S. And then we have this thick one, which has nothing modifying it, so that is a T. And then we have an O, because it's inside the word circle. And then 1, 2, 3 dots on this R. just like this R. And then we have the I on that R, because it's in the same position as an E, except it's got a line going towards the middle. So E is next, because it's just like the I, except no lines or anything. So that's an E. And then we have another S, 1, 2, 3 lines, just like this S. So stories, here's our next word, here's the bottom of it, here's our first letter. It's an I, because it's got a line going towards the middle. And then we have the N. It's a bigger circle inside the word circle with one line ending on it. So this thick one ends on the N, this thick one goes through the N and ends on the I. So only that one that ends on it counts. So in, here we have our next word, bottom of it. It starts with a TH stem with nothing modifying it, so that's just a TH. Continuing around here, we have another E. And then we have this bottom, E, continuing around, N, just like this N. And then 1, 2, 3 dots on this D. So end. And then we have that big old period. So it's on the line of the word circle. And I made it big just to kind of like make it a bit more different than the vowels or the stems or anything, just because it's a period. It's a pretty big deal, and it's in the middle of the phrase. So anyway, we're all stories in the end, period. Here's our next word, bottom of it. Our first stem is a circle inside the circle with nothing ending on it. This line goes through it, so it doesn't count, so that is a J. And then we have this circle, and it's got a line on it, so it's either an I or a U, but we have to decide if it's going outwards or inwards. So it goes towards the outside of the word circle before passing towards the middle of the word circle. So this is a U. If you imagine it the opposite way, it does go more towards the middle. So let's look at these U's. So if we were to imagine a curve going right through the middle of the consonant or the vowel, right through the middle of the vowel that's concentric with the word circle, if it were a line going towards the outside of it, it would be a U, but as soon as it hits that line and goes towards the middle, it becomes an I. So anyway, this one, here's like where that concentric circle would be, right? And it goes to the outside of it, because it would go to the outside. Anyway, so that's enough talking about that U. So J, U, continuing around, here we have a shallow divot, 1, and then again, just like this one, this is just some lines on this stem, 1, 2 lines. Even though it looks like a circle, it's broken and it ends here and here. So that is an S, because 1, 2, 3 lines on a T stem, so S. And then we have a shallow divot with no modifier, so that's T, so just. Then we have 1, 2, 3 lines on this M. Continue around. I forgot the A, that's why I do it. There will be an A here. I'll just do that now. Let me open this. I'll do that at the end after the video. Let me finish it. So there should be an A right here, because it's got to be outside the word circle. Yay for spell checks. And A. And then we have K. It's a small circle inside the word circle with 2 dots. So 1, 2 dots. And then an E. At the end of that, I, T. So that's an it. Then we have a word circle with just the A on it. So and then we have a deep divot with 1 line. So that is a G, and then O, O, and then 3 dots on a deep divot makes that a D. So good, and then O. Continuing around here, we have an N, 1 line on a circle inside the circle, E, and then we have a comma, because it's a filled-in circle on the line of the word circle, on the line of the sentence circle, my bad. And then we have this last little bit, and I put kind of a double line on it just to make it seem a bit more final. And then we have the E, and then 2 lines on this deep divot, so that's an H. So 1, 2 dots is a question mark. So question mark. So we're all stories in the end. Just there's no A. It's a good one. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that and make. You're gonna get to see some behind the scenes, and everything is kind of nuts right now because I have too many projects going on right now. So we're going to go here. So here's some behind the scenes on how I do things. As it opens slowly. My files I work on are pretty big so that they can be pretty high res. So it'll take a minute to open. And it's loading in. Hip hip huzzah. So, let's go ahead and close that There's too much stuff. Okay. So, huzzah to my files. I make a folder for each word. So anyway, we need to fix make. So we're going to go to make and the detail bits. Okay, cool. We're going to put it on the same layer as those dots. Elliptical select to. Yeah. That looks good. Let's make it a titch bigger so it overlaps for that decalness. Okay. Why are you angry? Oh, that's because I'm not. Okay, cool. And then we select shrink selection, and then it's going to be by that inches, 0.125 inches. Okay, cool. Got him. Cool, save that. So now it says M-A-K-E. Huzzah. Ooh, do I want it a little bit lower? Because right now it looks like that could be kind of like a U with how that's lined up there. Oh, I'm going to make it a little bit lower. I'm sorry. Whee! I'm going to do that again, except we're going to do it here. And I'm going to actually only attach it here. It seemed a little big before, too, for a vowel. So yes, there's a lot of, like, this sort of finicking and moving stuff around in my process. Anyway. There. M-A-K-E. Or I could have put it there. Anyway, it's done now. Make it a good one. It's gonna be over here. Anyway, so now I gotta save it and export it. I'm gonna stop the video now, because now this accurately says make. Bye!